In this video, we're going to take a look at creating the cutoff holder. The cutoff holder has a new feature in the fact that it has tangent line construction, where this straight line touches the outside arc or circumference of the circle, depending on how you draw it, at one point. And if it were to extend, it never crosses through it. This is known as tangency. This is a setting that we want to turn on, a snap setting, if you don't already have it on. So you are getting this symbol. When your cursor changes this symbol, that is a point of tangency. So we'll see that as we create this. This one is in fractions, and again, I've provided you with a decimal equivalency chart, but you can also type in fractions. Remember to put a hyphen in between the whole number and the fraction. Another thing to point out, I agree that some of these dimensions are hard to read. I tried to write over what's known as the hatch pattern. This signifies some form of iron, in particular cast iron. So we have 3/8 radius here on the inside. This diameter of the boss is 1 1/8. The distance to the center is 1 1/16, which is half of 2 1/8. And that boss is raised up 1/8 of an inch. The difference between radius and diameter plays a key factor here too. In most cases, you would draw a circle here. Well, the radius is given because in actuality this is only a partial circle. In terms of getting tangency, it'd be easier to snap that to a complete circle. So we have to double this dimension to get the radius. And the easiest way to double it is to double the numerator. So in terms of keying in a dimension, I would key in 22/16 while drawing a diameter circle. The next problem, and probably the biggest error, is the height to the center of the circle. It is not measured from the bottom. It is measured from this 5/32 cut up to the center. Take note at where the extension line is extending from. So in terms of getting overall height, it's mathematically difficult to get, at least in my mind. Not that you couldn't add 5/32 plus 1 5/16 plus 11/16. Personally, I don't feel like doing that math. And if you let the program drive the math for you, you'll be better off. So in terms of starting this one off, in the rare instance, I would start by creating a rectangle for the base in what will be the right side view. So I have an overall width of 2 1/8 and an overall height of 5/8. So I can key this in. 2-1/8 is my length, and my height is 5/8. Being that this is a rectangle and I'm going to modify it, I will explode to make these 4 individual lines. Next, I have this small rectangle. The fact that it is symmetrical may lead me to mirror this. So I'm going to do so. And I'm going to now add in a rectangle that is 5/16 in length and 5/32 in height. And I'm going to first off explode this, and then I'm going to mirror these 2 entities to the opposing side. And yes, I want to create a copy. So just to make life easier in the long run, I'm going to shrink these lines. So there's a cross section of my base material. Being that this measurement vertically is from this edge, and it is in the center, I am now going to measure up 1 5/8, and this will give me, this will give me the center. And if I draw a diameter circle, I could put in 22/16. Being the fact that you can create a radius circle You could put in 11/16 and be fine, and the drill diameter is 1/2 inch. By using the 1/2 inch circle and staying with the diameter circle tool, that was the suggestion for doing 22/16. So this has now set my overall height. In terms of creating tangency, if I start at this vertex, I will see that my cursor changes to this circle with a line on the outside, and it's saying that it's tangent. This is the relationship that I am looking for. It is not on what's known as a quadrant point. Every circle is divided into 4 quadrants at 90-degree increments. It is not to the quadrant point. It is to a point of tangency. So there is actually no edge here. This will require a trim function, and this is most of my front view. All I have to do is add the boss. In terms of projecting to the other views, I'm going to stick with a 1.5 spacing that we've been using for our inch parts, and I have an overall length of 3.5. Again, height, now that I have used all my radius dimensions, I'm going to come over 1/2 inch and drop this straight down. And there is an object line that would run here, and this object line is going to trail back. So other than the boss and some hidden lines for holes, which I don't have yet from the top because I want to project them all at one time, structurally I have a majority of the front view complete. Sticking with my 1.5 inch line spacing, projecting that information, and I am setting a width of 2 1/8, and we're just going to run this right back around. Being that it is tangent, there are no object lines at points of tangency. So on the top, I do have this object line that is that vertical face, and I have 2 hidden lines that will project all the way across. I could mirror this, probably take me longer to mirror it, but these will be hidden lines. So for right now, I'm going to set these to be hidden too. All I have left is the boss and the holes in terms of projection. Being that the fact that both holes are the same diameter will save you a little bit of time here. Find the midpoint, measure in, which is 1.5, and I have 2 circles that are concentric, a 1/2 inch diameter and a 1 1/8 diameter. So being that the fact that these holes are centered, I don't have to project all the way around. I can just project right off this other 1/2 inch circle to create center lines for this hole. Sorry, hidden lines. I do need a center line. And this one will be the center line. And it will extend out past the object. So we have done this process before in the fact that these holes are all the same. They're all 1/2 inch holes. So if I take the time to set hidden lines and center line construction, I can copy and rotate as long as I have placement references. I can line these up on another view. So I am going to take the time now to do that. The top of the circle, the side of the circle. So if I take this 1/2 inch hole I'm going to copy one straight down. I'm also going to copy one so that I can rotate it. I do need a line projection here. This one's going to be a little short because this base thickness is thicker than 1/2 inch, but I am now going to rotate this 90 degrees and use what I can, move it. So my center line is not centered, so I do have to make the adjustment here. My pattern should show back up. And being that this is the same thickness, I'm going to copy a section here. We do have the boss. Shoot, I should have raised that up after the fact. We'll go back and fix it. Alright. The 1/8 inch raised boss that is 1 1/8. So this overall length of this line is going to be 1/8 inch, 0.25. And let's be a little more efficient here. Let's do this one time correctly the first time. So we don't have to adjust it again. Oh, I might as well copy the fillets over too. This is going to get fillets. There are casting fillets. They're 1/8 inch. Radius, enter. 1/8, enter. And that's going to take place here. This is just a byproduct of AutoCAD. Since they are the same size, I don't have to readjust. Since I'm putting in fillets, I do have a couple more. An 1/8 inch fillet right there. Actually, that will be it for the 1/8 inch fillets. So working more efficiently this time, I'm going to take all of this information and copy it to the center. I do have a 3/16 fillet that happens between this vertical and horizontal section. It is a radius. It is 3/16 for this one. And it takes place here. We do have to stretch that line again. But that should do it. In terms of the drawing, the only thing left should be some center marks. Do not create your own. The program has center marks. Pick the wrong radiuses for the hole. Center mark for each of the holes, which I can now dimension to. And I'm going to delete my line of projection. Alright, now that should do it.